with trams running along the Danube, as well as passing the stunning Parliament building, while also having record-breaking long trams and the highest passenger numbers in the world. What is not to love about the tram system of Budapest? Let's check it out. With a sizable roughly 160 kilometers of track, Budapest tram network is not the largest in the world. But hey, with slightly less than 1.7 million inhabitants, the city is not as large as others discussed on my channel. It uses a 1435mm standard gauge, and trams are powered by 600 volts DC overhead wires. There are a total of 9 depots on the network. Let's now see how the network is being operated. We start off with line 1 between Bécsi út, Vörösvári út and Kelenföld vasútállomás. Line 1 is famous for being operated with huge trams, and this is also the longest line of the network. Line 1A runs between Bécsi út, Vörösvári út and Népliget. Line 1A is the shorter version of Line 1, to provide even higher frequencies on the busiest section. Line 2 runs between Jászai-Mári tér and Közvágóhíd. Line 2 is rather famous for being one of the world's most scenic tram lines. This is due to its alignment along the Danube, views over the hills of Buda, and its passing of the Hungarian Parliament. Line 2 is located along the Danube Promenade, part of Budapest's UNESCO heritage site. Line 2B also starts at Jászai-Mári tér and terminates at Budapest Tram. Line 3 starts at Mexikói út and terminates at Gubacsi út, Határ út. Line 4 runs between Széll-Kálmán tér and Újbuda központ. Line 6 follows the same route, but terminates at Móricz Zsigmond kör tér. Line 4 and 6 follow the Grand Boulevard for most of their route and form together one of the world's most busy tram corridors. Line 12, Angyalföld Kocsiszín, Rákospalota, Kossuth utca. Line 14, Káposztács megyer, Megyeri út, Lehel tér. Line 17 starts at Bécsi út, Vörösvári út and runs to Savoia Park. Line 19 also starts at Bécsi út, Vörösvári út and runs to Kelenföld vasútállomás. Line 23, Jászai-Mári tér to Keleti pályaudvar. Line 24, Közvágóhíd to Keleti pályaudvar. Line 28 runs between Blaha Luisa tér and Izraelita temető. Line 28A, Blaha Luisa tér to Új köztemető. Line 37 has the same origin and destination, but uses a slightly different route. Line 37A terminates at a different place, at Sörgyár. Line 41 starts again at Bécsi út, Vörösvári út, but it terminates at Kamra Erdei Ifjúsági Park. Line 41 operates along the right bank of the Danube, together with Line 19. Line 42 is a short route between Határ út and Kispest Tulipán utca. Line 47 runs between Deák Ferenc tér and Városház tér. Line 48 also starts at Deák Ferenc tér and runs to Savoia Park. Line 49 also starts at Deák Ferenc tér and runs to Kelenföld vasútállomás. Line 47, 48 and 49 all cross the beautiful Freedom Bridge. Besides Line 2, they might therefore be some of the most photographed lines in the city. Moving on to Line 50, Határ út to Pest-Szent Lőrinc, Békés tér. Line 51, Mester utca, Ferenc körút to Nagy Sándor József utca. Line 51A, Mester utca, Ferenc körút to Koppányi utca. Line 52 starts at Határ út and runs to Pest Erzsébet, Pocsirtatelep. Line 56, Hűvösvölgy to Városház tér. Line 56A, Hűvösvölgy to Móricz Zsigmond kör tér. Line 59 starts at Márton Áron tér and runs to Szent János kórház. Line 59A, Márton Áron tér to Széll-Kálmán tér. And Line 59B, Márton Áron tér to Hűvösvölgy. Line 60, Városmajor Széchenyi-hegy. Line 60 is a cogwheel railway, which is presented as a tram line on the maps. This line operates completely independently and also uses a different voltage than the tram network, at 1500 volts DC. Line 61 runs between Huvesvöge and Moritz-Zsigmond-Kürtér, but it does so along a different route than Line 56A. Line 56, 56A, 59B and 61 follow a beautiful, more suburban alignment into the hills of Buda, wherein it negotiates quite sharp curves through the terrain. Line 62, Blaha Luisa-tér, Rákospalota, Maptiler. Line 62A, Kőbánya alsó vasútállomás to Rákospalota, Maptiler. And finally, Line 69, from Mexikói út to Újpalota Erdőkerülő utca. Let's now dive into the history. Budapest opened its first Holstrom tram line already in 1866. The network grew, and by 1885 there were already 15 lines. By the end of 1887, Budapest's first electric tram line appeared already. This network's rapid rise made it more complicated, requiring a shift from the color coding of lines to numbers. World War I did not cause a lot of destruction of the network per se, but trams were repurposed for support. They would be transporting wounded people and cargo, while lacking maintenance caused many carriages to be withdrawn from service. As soon as the war was over, public transport was reorganized and came under the control of the municipalities. Full electrification of the network followed swiftly, as well as harmonizing the network as a whole. Enter World War II, which was in fact far more devastating for the tram network of Budapest. The Siege of Budapest, wherein German and Hungarian forces were encircled and eventually defeated by Soviet and Romanian armies, destroyed most of the city, and along with that, the tram network. Tram traffic completely stopped for a while, but some services resumed in February 1945. It would last more than a year until Buda and Pest were connected by tram again, after the reconstruction of the Liberty Bridge across the Danube. After World War II, the network grew only briefly, but saw the first real challenge for its ski status by newly introduced modes. The introduction of trolleybuses, regular buses, and the expansion of the metro system all led to a gradual decline of the tram network. The Hungarian Revolution of 1956 and the independence fight saw a large-scale destruction of the network, from which it never fully recovered. Until the 1990s, the picture of Budapest's tram system was rather bleak. The only real development was the formation of the new Line 1 during the 1980s. It had its first sections opened even before Hungary freed itself from the shackles of the de facto Soviet rule. The change to this rather negative post-revolution record came in the 1990s and 2000s, when some new, more attractive lines were constructed, as seen with Line 1 and Line 3. The developments of the 2000s and 2010s have set the stage for a brighter future. This came with the introduction of new extensions, like Line 1's final extension to Kellenfeld railway station and a new shopping mall. It also came with new vehicles and better service. So which was once one of the world's best and largest tram networks, is now returning to reclaim its position. This video about the tram system of Budapest is part of an already 25 episode long series of transport systems. I would love to show you many more in the future, therefore it would be really helpful if you like my video and subscribe to my channel. Let's now take a look at the fleet. The tram you will see in most of the tourist pictures of Budapest is for 99% sure the Ganz CSMG, active on the picturesque lines 2, 47, 48 and 49. These trams have been around since the late 1960s and early 1970s. These trams are native to the city, as the famous and surprisingly still existing manufacturer Ganz is based here. The KCS V7 is the modernized version of the CSMG, making them fit for the new millennium. Despite having a similar appearance to the original CSMGs, the KCS7s have been outfitted with more modern features. Unlike most of the other former communist countries, Budapest got a quote-unquote custom tram from Tatra. The famous T3 never came to Budapest, but the sole successful member of Tatra's T5 family did. The Tatra T5 was the first of Tatra's tram families not originally based on the licensed design, which was the case with trams like the T3. Instead, it was a brand new design by Tatra itself. Budapest's variant, the T5C5, is only active in Budapest itself, although currently with a variety of modernization titles. The most trams of this type are now standardized up to T5C5K2. The next vehicle type is the TW6000, which was built by DUWAG and later by Linke Hofmann Busch. It was brought to Budapest as a second-hand tram in 2001. It was purchased from the German city of Hanover to serve on the newly formed Line 3. Later on, more of these vehicles were bought from The Hague in the Netherlands. An oddity is that this tram type is not assigned to any line that touches Buda. Line 4 and Line 6, the corridor on the Grand Boulevard, needed modern, low-floor trams with high capacity. The tram chosen to fulfill this need is the Combina Supra of Siemens. With 53.99 meters in length, this tram became the longest passenger tram in the world for a while, until it was surpassed by the CAF Urbos 3. The most modern type in Budapest tram fleet is this Urbos 3. There are two variants active on the network. The first one, the 5-car version, is becoming more and more a familiar face on lines where a regular capacity is needed, but which have not seen a low-floor tram just yet. However, somewhat more exciting and special is the 9-car version of this Urbos 3, which is, with its 56 meters, the longest tram type in the world. It is active on Line 1. It is apparent that Budapest loves high-capacity trams, with this tram being capable of transporting up to 562 passengers. And of course, as it is part of the network including its very own line number, the vehicles of the cogwheel line should also not be forgotten. The current cogwheel trains are built by a company we might recognize from my video about Vienna's tram system, Simmering Graz Bauker. They built these trains together with Brown, Boveri and Compagnie. So, how many people use this system? The tram system of Budapest, as one of Europe's largest ones, has a very high ridership. Around 930,000 passengers use the system per day, resulting in more than 339 million passengers per year, which is likely the largest ridership in the world. A rather big chunk of this traffic is taken up by the tram corridor operated by Lines 4 and 6. This corridor is one of the busiest tram corridors in the world, transporting between 330 and 350,000 passengers on an average working day. The large Combina Supras of Siemens operate on this corridor at the frequency of every 2 to 4 minutes, depending on the demand. So what will the future hold? There are a lot of ideas and plans for extensions, as highlighted in Budapest 2030 mobility plan, but also on other websites. However, none of them actually seems to become reality anytime soon. If you know more about a particular project that might actually happen, please let me know in the comments below. On the fleet side, however, Budapest seems to have a very good time with its CAF Urbos 3, as there are yet another 51 on their way to Hungary's capital. 46 of these will be of the 5-car variant, while 5 of them will be of the record-holding 9-car variant. And with that, we have reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video about the tram system of Budapest. If you want to see more about public transport in Budapest, check out my video about Budapest metro system. As always, thank you very much for watching.